Welcome back to another Sunday evening live roundtable, ladies and gentlemen, here on the OHIO podcast. Do us a big favor if you don't mind. Smash it. Hit that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Ring the bell. Get notified. And of course, put a comment down in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about what we think. We are the official Ohio State podcast of The College Huddle. Head on over to thecollegehuddle.com where you can find ourselves and 86 other of our closest friends from coast to coast covering their favorite schools. And go check out the College Huddle YouTube channel. It's banging every day, dropping content over there. Today we were talking about Miami and their terrible record in the month of November under Mario Cristobal, where he is an amazing 4-9 in his career in the month of November for the Canes. Go check out the website, theohiopodcast.com. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials, and by all means, if you need to get a hold of us, please do so. You can email the show at theohiopodcast@gmail.com. And of course, please consider subscribing to Patreon. It's the coolest place to hang out with Buckeye Nation. So much going on over there. News dropping all the time by our boy Buck Vader. His blogs are just awesome. The message board is awesome. All the extra video content that you're getting, including What Drives Me Wilds by my co-host Chris Wild. And here he is, shades on and attitude and all tonight. The Wild Man is here. Also joining us from the home team, that's the Schrock star himself this evening, Sean Schrock. And our special guest this evening from Knoxville, Tennessee, he's a Buckeye, waving the scarlet and gray flag down there in the Vol State. Knoxville Nate, welcome to the OHIO podcast. Tell everybody about yourself, who you are, and what you do, my man.
Yeah, man, I'm a big-time Buckeye fan living down here in Knoxville, Tennessee, in the heart of SEC country, taking the hate for all of us with these folks. And been a Buckeye fan my whole life, and talking college football in the last 4 or 5 years, pretty strong, played college football, and now I just watch it and talk it. And I appreciate you guys bringing me on this evening because enjoyed watching that game yesterday, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to hand out Buckeye Leafs. We're going to give letter grades. We're going to open up the chat in the second part of the show, let you guys throw some questions, topics at us this evening as well. But my dudes, Ohio State has done a thing today. Ohio State has done something we've all been begging them to do. They have thrown their hat behind Julian Sain and are promoting him to win the Heisman. Right now, Ohio State has created a website. It's WeSayinHeisman.com. We is W-E, Sayin, his last name, S-A-Y-I-N, Heisman.com. WeSayinHeisman.com. Go check it out. It's got all of his stats, his current stats, what he did in his last game, everything about the young man. It's fantastic, and it's about dang time Ohio State does this for one of our great players. So, Nate, what do you think about Ohio State finally promoting someone for the Heisman?
I think it's about time. I mean, this kid's answered the bell since week one. I mean, he came out against Texas and was unflappable. I mean, was it the greatest performance ever? No, but he looked like a veteran, looked calm and looked poised, and he's continued that throughout the season. I don't know what else you want the kid to do. He's completing 80% of his passes. He's thrown for 2,200 yards, 23 touchdowns, 3 picks for a first-time starter. I don't know why we haven't gotten behind this before. A lot of the guys that have been brought up for the Heisman didn't even deserve to be there. You know, Diego Pavia throws for 170 yards and runs for 80, and they want to hand him the trophy. So why not this guy? Just shocked that this didn't happen sooner.
Sean?
I'm happy, finally. Like Nate said, it's about dang time. I mean, the kid, he just oozes poise, man. I don't think we've ever seen a first-year starter be that poised. I mean, look at the play he made where he escaped and he gained a first down. I mean, the kid, he's amazing. I mean, when he scrambles, he doesn't look to run. He always keeps his eyes down the field. But if he has to run, he'll run it. And the kid never gets frazzled like certain other younger quarterbacks we've seen. Maybe one up the road from us start yelling at his teammates and fighting with his running back, but I don't name anybody, but I'm just saying this kid, he deserves it.
Chris.
It's about time. It's that simple. It's about time. Right now, I don't know that anybody deserves it more than this kid, not just at Ohio State, but in the nation. Um, he as Sean said, he's poised. He is 80.4% of his passes have been completed in the last 4 games. For the year, he's 80.7%. This kid's insane. He's ridiculous. I'm glad to see Ohio State is finally getting behind him, and I don't know whether it's the fact we finally got an athletic director or what, but I just got to say I'm glad to see that they're finally behind him.
That's a good point, Chris. All right, here's my theory. I have a phone call I need to make to see if my theory is correct. I haven't dove into this, but I've often thought that Ryan Day maybe didn't want to promote one single person for this because he felt like it was important to keep the team focused on the team and the team goals. But I think it's so good right now. Julian Saint's playing so well, and he can't ignore it. And I think Jeremiah Smith, Caleb Downs, maybe Carnell Tate, maybe some of the other guys went to Ryan Day and said, let's promote him. And if it's player led, I think that's even more awesome that the team's rallying around him and saying, let's do everything we can to get this young man not only to New York, but to get him on the stage and win that Heisman and turn to Desmond Howard and basically say, yeah, it was us, not any of your people. Because Desmond Howard deserves to get trolled a little bit. Let's be honest. I'm not into trolling, but Desmond Howard deserves it. That's my theory. I'm gonna have to find out if it's true or not. But this much I do know is true, ladies and gentlemen. Buck Vader's in the house. Eric, I'm dropping a big recruiting update. Chris, we know who this is from Mr.
Yes.
Big tomorrow or
Nice.
Tuesday. That means take it to the bank. Take it to the bank. And speaking of recruiting, we landed 2 2027 offensive linemen from Ohio within 10 minutes of each other. We've been begging for this for years. Don't drag these things out. You know they're good enough. Offer them. Get them in the fold a year in advance. These are kids, if you don't show them the love in the state of Ohio, they end up going to Michigan and kicking your butts on the offensive line, or they go to Clemson over there with Dabo Sweeney, and you're like, how did we lose this guy? I am ecstatic that they offered them this early and got them in the fold now. This is huge for us for 2027 to get 2 of the best offensive linemen from the state of Ohio, which, Chris, we talk about this all the time. They're built different here. And I believe one of them is playing on the number 1 team in the state in the playoffs and has been a starting left tackle for 3 years. So what's that tell you, Chris? Go for it, man. Drop some knowledge.
You know what? I just got to tell you, shout out to our offensive line coaches who are being aggressive for a change in recruiting.
Yes.
We came to find out that as rough as we were on Scooter there that skated off to Arizona, he could develop some guys. But he was not a great recruiter. I feel like Bowen is a much better recruiter. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the Ohio guys coming because, like you said, if we don't get them now, they end up going to Michigan. They end up going to Wisconsin. They end up going to Iowa. The one thing I will correct you on, I don't think anybody is going anywhere with Dabo at Clemson at this point. Because I don't think Dabo is going to have a job at Clemson much longer. But,
yeah, that's true.
I get your point, and it's about time. And you know what? I feel like I'm going to say it a lot tonight. It's about time.
Mm-hmm.
It was about time that we got behind a Heisman push. It's about time we get on offensive recruiting. It's about time that we start going after these Ohio kids early. And one of my biggest criticisms on Ryan Day prior to that national title was I wasn't sure he got it. I wasn't sure that he got what it meant to be at Ohio State, what it meant for those Ohio kids to be part of Ohio State. I think he gets it. I don't
Sean.
know.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know whether it was maybe the influence of guys like Jack Sawyer over the last couple of years. He gets it now.
Well, I think it was a year too late because we did miss out on a couple bigger guys. But like you said, if you don't show these guys the love early, these guys don't forget that. I mean, you saw with Will Conroy, who was the best center in the class last year. I mean, he went to Oklahoma, and then when they tried to get him to come, they slow played him, and he just basically said, "Screw you, I'm going to Oklahoma." So, I mean, I'm glad that they're doing it early, and hopefully they do it with just not the linemen, but all the positions. Let's lock these Ohio kids up early, and not have to worry about them. Instead of then you can still take your swings at the the higher guys in the other states, but get the Ohio kids first.
Mika's telling everybody who's on Patreon, and if you're not, go join Patreon. It only costs $5 a month to get insider information, analysis, extra content, all kinds of good stuff, game watches. She says, check out my analysis on the board, guys. So she's wanting everybody to go check that out on Patreon after the show, of course. Nate, your thought on Ohio State going after the Ohio kids early now and getting them in the class wrapped up.
I think it's huge. I think we need to focus on bringing in the O-linemen. I mean, that's the big key to me is bringing in Ohio O-linemen, getting them in the fold, and not having to go to the transfer portal trying to supplement our offensive line like we have the last couple of years. Obviously, we've hit on some. There's no doubt. The kid last year, who ended up missing, Simmons, who ended up missing the championship run. He played really well until he got hurt, and I think he was a big hit. Daniels is playing fairly well this year, but obviously they took a swing and paid $1 million for this kid out of Rice, and he can't even get on the field. So, if you want to add depth in the O-line, I have no problem with it, but why not go in your own backyard, get the most talented guys, offer them early, bring them in, and build this line like it used to be built from our home state kids.
Yeah, good call, Nate. Ethan O has kind of been a ghost on this team so far. Jim Van Zoest, I think I heard one of the two grew up in a family of Wolverines. That is true. That is actually true. If you go to our website, theohiopodcast.com, I wrote an article this afternoon about these two guys, and that is 100% true. He actually, it's quoted in the article. He says, I grew up a Michigan fan, but when I was at the shoe, I felt something different. It's called being born in the state of Ohio, young man. That's what that is. It's in your DNA, whether you want to admit it or not. And right on time as we get ready to talk about yesterday's big win, he is here. You know what?
Give him credit.
Hats off to you, giving you credit, man. I like this guy. He might be trolly, but I like you, Penn State Sports Talk. Thank you so much, man.
First play of the game, he had hope. Honestly, the first play of the game was probably the last time I had concern.
I commend you for coming in here and taking your lumps today. You know what? That shows me that you are a class act, my friend. I appreciate that. All right. We'll start with you first, Nate. We'll go back around. Your initial thoughts of Ohio State's 38-14 win over the James Franklinless and Drew Allerless Cats of Penn State.
I was very satisfied, I'd say, with the win, simply because this team had nothing to lose. I mean, they could go for it on fourth down. They could run blitz packages. I mean, this team could do whatever they wanted to do. The season is pretty much already lost. They've lost, 3 games in a row. Things have fallen apart for the Nittany Lions, but that doesn't mean that they still don't have talent. They've still got NFL players on that roster. They still have some coaches on that staff that are supposed to at least know what they're doing. Not to mention, that defensive coordinator has some familiarity with our team. So, I was expecting some pushback from them and possibly, a close game, at least for the first half. And it was. We helped them out with that fumble, giving them really good field position and also some missed run fits in that first half. But I love the attention to detail in the second half. Patricia really made some moves and made some adjustments in the second half with some of our defensive scheme and mixed things up. And what else can you say? We didn't give up any points, and we started coming out throwing and being aggressive right out of the locker room. And when you're throwing the ball and catching the ball like that, and it wasn't the greatest running performance ever, but we had some chunk plays. We had a run over 50 yards and picked up some short yardage runs as well. So not a whole lot to be upset about, I'd say.
I think some of our guys balled out. I mean, Kenyatta Jackson Jr., man, the kid had his coming out party. There's one thing that I want to point out that I think was very key yesterday and something that's going to help us further down the road is we saw a formation that we haven't seen all year, and Penn State gashed us on it. It's the off-balance line look where they added the extra tackle. Michigan runs that all the time. Michigan has been able to pop some big plays with it, and they scored a touchdown. Penn State scored a touchdown on us and got some big plays off of that in the first half, and Patricia adjusted to it in the second half. So, I mean, I think that's good that we saw that already before Michigan comes to town. I mean, before we go up to Ann Arbor and see that, because they're going to run that, and they've caught other teams not knowing how to, adjust to it or, kind of kick the line down to it. So I was happy about that. There's a couple of things about the play calling I didn't like. Twice on 3rd and 4, we ran the ball, which I don't know why Hartline did that, but maybe he was trying to get the offensive line going. But it wasn't 4-down territory, so I was a little iffy about that. But, I mean, the passing game, Julian continues to get better each week. Our defense continues to ball out. The running game still needs some work, but, I mean, it's a win, and it was never in question. So, I mean, overall, I say it was a pretty good day.
Wild man.
Yeah, Julian, great day. We got 2 legitimate Biletnikoff contenders in Tate and Jeremiah Smith, who have now Smith has quite a few more receptions. Tate has quite a differential in his favor on yards per catch. But if you look at the number of yards and the number of touchdowns, they're pretty daggone similar. These guys are both over 700 yards receiving already. I think they've got 7 and 9 touchdowns respectively already. This passing game is clicking right now. The run game, I thought we had some good spots. I thought there was some, as Sean pointed out, some bad play calls. Obviously some bad officiating, because apparently you can have your forward progress stopped for 2.5 minutes and they'll still let you have a fumble. But defensively hitting on all cylinders. We quietly ended up with 4 sacks yesterday, 7 tackles for loss. Is there a more, I don't know, just more dominating player right now than Arvell Reese at linebacker? I mean, Sean mentioned Kenyatta Jackson. Obviously, we had Caden McDonald got in there and had a great game yesterday. Caden Curry, didn't have the flashy stats, but I thought played very solid yesterday. And Penn State, our Penn State friend said they had us in the first quarter or the first half. You didn't have anything. You never had control of this game. The refs let you climb back in with a bogus fumble and a 10-yard drive, but you never had anything. This team was outplayed from start to finish. Deal with it, my man.
$2 super chat from Bobby Mack. After Sunday, we are is now we were. I did see the Penn State fan holding up a sign on Big Noon kickoff. He said we are, and then underneath it said disappointing. And that was a Penn State fan holding up that sign. I was like, obviously he couldn't sell those tickets. He's like, I guess I'll have to go. Might as well make the best out of it. No, it was very interesting to me in this game, and you brought up some interesting things there, Nate, and in my good, bad, and ugly video today, go check that out after the show if you like. I break down the things that I thought were good, the things that were bad, and the things that were ugly. And one of the things I thought was really good was when on that first drive, did you guys see how much eye candy there was before the snap?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. You realize what was happening, right? That's Ryan Day playing with Jim Knowles.
Yes.
That was him playing with Jim Knowles saying, I know you think you know what I know, but what you don't know is I know that you know that you don't know what I know. And it confused the heck out of him. And we drove right down the field on him with all that pre-snap eye candy. And I remember during the live watch, we all went, that was different. Now, they went back to their base because at that point, I think Ryan Day was like, why show too much here? Let's just air it out because they can't stop us. And I've got the two best wide receivers in college football and the best quarterback in college football. And as long as we give him time, we're going to beat these guys easily. And that's exactly what happened. So, but that first drive was a ton of pre-snap eye candy. A lot of 12-man, tight ends going all over the place, receivers in motion, running backs going out wide, and you're just like, what is happening here? It was wild. And it set up some really nice runs for Bo Jackson early in the game. A lot of that did because Penn State defensively was not prepared for all of that.
And
So
Eric,
yeah.
the nice thing about that too is this: he doesn't like Jim Knowles, and he was having fun with him. What do you think he's going to do with Sharon Moore, a guy that we all hate?
Hopefully that and so much more. Hopefully that and so much more. We have 3 more games to prep for that. Penn State this week, UCLA and Rutgers, both at home. Did I say Penn
Purdue.
State? Purdue.
Purdue.
Purdue this week. And then on the road in West Lafayette. And then 2 home games, UCLA, Rutgers, and then we travel up to Ann Arbor. And hopefully we will be ready for that.
Sad we're not going to see Big Mac Mary this weekend, Eric.
Yeah, well, we'll see if Big Mac Mary can maybe call in tomorrow night. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be fun? All right, let's go ahead and hand out some letter grades to the offense and defense. We'll start with the offense first in this one. Yesterday, Ohio State had 480 total yards. It was broken down with 316 passing, 164 rushing for 8.7 yards per play. Do me a big favor, Penn State Sports Talk guy. Tell me the last time your defense gave up 8.7 yards per play. It hasn't happened this year. I looked it up. It never happened the last 3 years. So awesome job hiring Jim Knowles for $3.1 million and giving up 8.7 yards per play on the team he won a national championship with the year before. 22 first downs. They were 6 of 9 on third down, 1 of 1 on fourth down. They ran 55 total plays. They had 2 penalties for 30 yards. They lost 1 fumble, and they possessed the ball for 30 minutes and 7 seconds. The streak of outpossessing time over their opponent continues for the Buckeyes. Nate, your offensive letter grade for Ohio State.
I mean, I was trying to decide between A- and B+, but I don't know how you can not give them an A after breaking it down like that. I mean, what else do you want them to do? I mean, if you want to be hypercritical, I guess you can, look at some of the runs. But we averaged 5.1 per carry, and Bo Jackson, is electric, and he's just going to get better and better with time. And I think this offensive line will continue to get better. Offensive line got better last year towards the end of the year, so I think that'll continue. And how can you not give an A to a group that has 2 of the best college wide receivers I've ever seen? And my favorite part about the offense was, as Ryan Day said, Julian Sayin does the things that you cannot teach. That is, he feels people coming behind him that he can't see. And instead of freaking out about it, he keeps his eyes downfield and he either runs away from him or he throws it at the right time. That's stuff the coaches are not teaching him. That's stuff that he just has in his repertoire. And, that I love seeing that because he's going to get pressure when we play the team up north and they're going to get after him and him showing the ability to feel heat from behind him, I think is huge. And that scramble, as Sean brought up earlier, that was a big play. The game was still in doubt right then. He gets, hit right there, fumbles it, whatever. The game could have started going the wrong direction. And so I really loved that play. And, he was unreal. And the wide receivers as well were unstoppable. So I think you have to kind of give him an A.
I'm going to be a little hypercritical, and I'm going to say A- because just because of the running. I think the line could be a little bit better. There was some breakdowns. I mean, we saw it on some bad whiffs on Carson Hinsman got really schooled bad by Jazz Coleman. I mean, he whiffed big time. I don't know if they, like last year, like Nate brought it up, they improved, but they also went through and they gutted a lot of their scheme that wasn't working last year. So hopefully they do that this last 3 games. Or I just don't know if changing the line coach has affected our line that much this year or what, but it just seems like our running game just isn't clicking like it should right now.
Chris.
Well, Sean, part of that is the fact that we lost 2 NFL running backs.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to be even more critical, and I'm going to say a B+. I didn't like some of the run calls as Sean addressed earlier on. I think we need to get more push on the run game. I don't necessarily blame C.J. Donaldson as much for that fumble because I don't believe it was a fumble. However, I do blame Brian Hartline for putting him in that position because that was a terrible call at that time, at that place on the field. So I think that we've got some things that we need to clean up. You touched on it, Sean. If these guys do a twist or a spin, it doesn't seem like our offensive line was able to handle that too well. I mean, it was basic spin moves, and they were getting through our offensive line. So that's something that we've got to improve upon because let me tell you, the defense for that team up north is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And if our offensive line doesn't tighten that up, they will exploit it. That being said, as I think back to last year, I think it was the Penn State game where our line started to improve last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I have hope moving forward for that. But I'm going to go B+ overall.
All right, let's look at the defensive stats yesterday. Defensively, they gave up only 200 yards, 145 passing, 55 rushing. That's 3.3 yards per play. Penn State had 15 first downs. They were 8 of 15 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth down. They ran 60 total plays. The defense got 4 sacks yesterday. They also forced Penn State into 6 punts, and they got 1 interception, and the time of possession was 29 minutes and 53 seconds. Nate, your defensive letter grade for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, here I am being just a little bit picky, I guess, critical, giving them a B- just because this quarterback, I mean, he hasn't played a lot. Obviously, he's not seen the field really at all. So I kind of wanted to see some more interceptions, maybe a couple more strip sacks. But after the first half, like I said, we made the changes and fixed a lot of the things that we were struggling with. And, the second score there, came on a really short field, as Chris said, that was handed to them. So I don't want to go too nuts. And really what made me happiest was seeing, Kenyatta play as he did. Arvell Reese might be the best player on this team, which is crazy to even say, considering some of the other guys we have. But, every week, a lot of the time, he's the best player on the field when he is out there. And that's continued. And then Caleb Downs showed that we cannot forget about him as well, making some plays yesterday. So all in all, as I said, I'm going to give it a B- just because, some of those runs concerned me. And even seeing that guy throw for 145 with limited experience. Maybe not the greatest day for our defense, but that's, they've set a pretty high bar based on what we've seen this year, only giving up 12 points in the entire first half up to this point.
For the love of God, can we please stop playing zone?
You love the zone defense.
My gosh. They gave that kid forever rushing 3 guys at him and made Ian Grunkmeyer look like freaking Joe Montana. Come on, man. That was horrible. I mean, we should have never even put zone out there. That kid didn't. I mean, them receivers wouldn't have got open if we were playing man-to-man on him. I mean, he had all day to throw on some of those passes when they were playing zone and weren't rushing anybody. And I was a little upset at the beginning when they didn't adjust to that running the off balance look, and we were given up like 7 or 8 yards a couple times. So, but like Nate said, Patricia went in at halftime, adjusted, and they didn't do anything else after that. So I'm gonna say, B. I'll give them a B.
I can't be as critical as you are there, Sean. I'm going to go B plus. I am upset at the fact that we allowed this kid to go out and complete 70% of his passes nearly. I think it was 68% actually. I think it's the exact number he went out and completed yesterday. But you know what? The things we ask our defense to do, I'm not going to hold that second TD against them because I think it was a bogus, obviously a short drive and a bogus fumble. But they gave up a big run. But outside of that, let's look at that for a minute. They had 55 yards rushing. 26 of it came on one run. We talk about getting turnovers. We got an interception. We talk about getting sacks. We got 4. And as Nate mentioned earlier, this is not a bunch of scrubs. This is a team that still has NFL talent. They may not have NFL talent at quarterback right now, but outside of that, they got a lot of guys, specifically 2 running backs who are going to be playing in the league, who were completely shut down for the most part. To me, I don't think we can be overly critical, but we have to be somewhat critical. Yeah, Tyler, 19 of 28 is higher than 50%. 14 of 28 would be 50%.
That's true.
So
that's true. Math ain't mathin'.
That's just my math. The teacher in me had to throw that out there. Sorry. But, I think this defense played good, but we definitely didn't see its best football. And for the love of God, Caleb Downs, use your head. And I don't mean by dropping it. Whether it was or was not a target is irrelevant at this point because you got away with it.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in that position.
Don't put yourself in that position because, as we have seen, the officials have sucked all year. Don't allow them to take you down.
I think what was really bad, sorry, Eric, what was really bad about that is the ball was, he wasn't even going to catch it. He didn't even need to hit him on that. That's what made me upset the most. I'm like, you didn't even have to hit him. And it's just like, I know you're playing hard and you want to light somebody up, but come on, man, you got to be smart about that. I mean, if that was, say that was the game before Michigan, we could have lost them for a half against Michigan.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
right. And I, at the moment when it happened, I thought to myself, thank goodness we play Purdue next week, right? Like that was in my head what I was going for. But yeah. And he knew he got away with one. You all saw the reaction like I did. He knew he got away
because
with it.
I think he thinks it was targeting.
Yeah.
Judging by his reaction immediately after
the
play.
I definitely thought he was going to get called for it. Whether it was or not, I who knows. But
depending on the angle you look at, there's an argument either way.
Yeah. Usually our guys get called for that.
Yes.
And we got lucky.
We've been really good the last couple years of avoiding those type of things. I think our guys know how to play hard. um, and tough without playing reckless with their heads. And it is getting better in football. They're teaching it better at youth football. It's coming up the ladder now. They're getting away from that in football. And you know what? They needed to. As my brother who runs the mouth guard export company will tell you, the numbers and statistics when it comes to head injuries is frightening in sports. By the way, not just in football, but you got a lot of contact sports where head injuries are happening, including soccer. Yeah, I know it's crazy to think about that, but it actually soccer is one of the highest sports for concussions because it's played the most in the world, and they use their heads all the time. And for soccer, um, I hockey, you've got lacrosse. Believe it or not, wrestling has a lot of them. Basketball. I remember taking a charge one time in basketball and seeing Tweety birds, in back in the '90s, and of course, that you just take a breather, drink some water, and then you go right back out there, right? Of course, now we know you were concussed, bro. That's why you were throwing up after the game. But yeah, so all of these sports have head injuries, and thankfully football has learned how to kind of adapt. And I hated it at first. I'll admit it. I hated it at first, but now that I've got a stepson who's a freshman in high school, I'm like, it's good to know that his mom feels comfortable letting him go out there and play, because they are doing this right, and the technology's great. Helmets are better, the mouth guards are getting better, everything's getting better, because of the emphasis that football has made on this. So it's a good thing.
And Eric, can I just
Yes.
chime in here real quick and say, for those of you who didn't see it, just a shout out to Ben Brammer, the Iowa State tight end. I don't know who saw it and who didn't. He collapsed on the field after a big hit yesterday. He was just discharged from the hospital today.
Oh, great.
Good,
Great.
good.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that. Thank you for that update. Yeah, we have 52 watching on YouTube. Make sure you please smash that like button if you haven't already. We would appreciate that. 52 watching on the old X. A couple people over there on Facebook. Shout out to you, people on Facebook. And the one on our new streaming service, Twitch. TG wanted us to go over to Twitch and try to speak to them people, some truth to those people. So welcome for the one person over there on Twitch hanging out with us this evening. All right. Let's go ahead and thank you, Akron Rex, that reposted the stream. Appreciate that. Yeah, you can do that. Absolutely. That would help us out immensely. All right, let's hand out some Buckeye leaves, guys. Let's start with the offensive player of the game, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got to give it to Julian Sayin. I mean, what else did you want him to do? I mean, that's my real thing with him is I'm seeing continued improvement. He keeps getting better and better. And, even when things got close there for a moment, he remained as even-keeled as he has been all year. And as I mentioned earlier, just the way that he feels pressure from the back, he always keeps his eyes down the field. But my favorite thing about him is he does not discriminate. He will throw it to whoever is open. He will throw it to whichever guy comes up on his progression that is available to catch a pass. He doesn't care. I mean, a lot of guys would force it to Jeremiah. A lot of guys would start forcing it to Carnell after he's, won it. But he will throw it to whoever is open, and that is probably my favorite thing about him. He got the tight ends involved, yesterday, and just looked good doing it. I don't know how you couldn't want to give him the player of the game, because he came to town, and 4 touchdowns, man. I mean, he's had a couple of games now where he's thrown 4 touchdowns. When you've got a quarterback throwing 4 touchdowns, you have a chance to win them all.
Sean.
He took saying, I'm going to go with Cardinal Tate, because the dude just continues to make all these contested catches. I mean, he just comes away with the ball. He gets great positioning, and he high points it, or he just snatches it out of the air away from the defender. I mean, it's always with a guy all over him, and he continues to make clutch catch after clutch catch. I mean, it could have been either him or JJ. I could have gave a leaf to, but I'm going to go with Carnell.
Yeah, it sure could have been, Sean, because there was only 1 yard's difference in their number of receiving yards, 1 touchdown difference. They both had 57-yard longs. It was like a receiver pick 'em right there. I know we don't like to typically go with the same guy, but I got to agree with Nate here. There's something special about Julian saying. He had 4 touchdown passes yesterday. He had 3 incompletions. He had more touchdown passes than incompletions.
2 of them were throwaways, I believe. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
We're talking about a kid right now who literally on this season has only 40 incompletions roughly on the season through 8 games. You're talking he's averaging just over 5 incompletions a game.
Chris, if you went through and you saw how many of them were actually throwaways and weren't true incompletions.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
Which I like too. I mean, he's
playing smart ball.
If there's nothing there and he is getting pressured and he knows he can't run for it or whatever, he throws it out of bounds. And that is hard to teach too, especially to these young guys in their first year starting, and to show that in just the young age of him doing that is huge.
Did you guys like Nick say? Oh, go ahead, Sean.
Sorry, he had that really bad pick that he forced on the goal line, and they lit into him about it, and he hasn't thrown another pass like that the rest of the year
against Ohio.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear Nick Saban's comment where he kind of dogged himself?
Yeah.
Was that not funny. The greatest thing ever?
Yeah. called himself a dumb butt.
Yeah.
Although he made up the fact that he had him for a year. He only had him for like 4 weeks, and he was at Ohio State. But yeah, it was pretty funny. All right, Mika brings up something interesting here. Ennis looked good as well. That was his best game as a Buckeye, 5 catches. And he was wide open on that deep pass to Carnell. He was wide open where Penn State was playing quarters, and they both 2 of them went deep with Tate, and Ennis kind of slowly ran like a little S route behind him. He was wide open. That would have been a big gain.
He's going to see a lot more of that, I think, Eric. With defenses are going to have to basically, I think, find a way to bracket or double cover our 2 starting wide receivers at this point.
Yeah,
because you can't play either of them one-on-one.
You got to keep them honest. I mean, that's huge. He's going to be open, and he needs to show the ability to make plays, because there's going to be times where he's going to be wide open, and if he can catch it and show the ability to do it, that's what we need out of him.
I crossing my fingers for the young man that his patience and his good attitude and not being a prima donna and wanting to quit and wanting to jump in the portal and wanting to complain about these other 2 guys getting all the attention is going to pay off for him big time here down the stretch. I have a really good feeling. Usually good things come to the good guys when they just keep their nose down and keep grinding at the grindstone. Eventually good things happen to those guys. All right, let's go to our defensive MVP, Nate.
Yeah, I got to go Reese. I know that's the obvious pick, but this guy he's got everything that you want from a linebacker. It scares me that he didn't play more last year, kind of just because he's shown how good he is this year. Maybe he just got way better. I don't know, but there's nothing this guy can't do. The speed, the strength, he takes on. I mean, he's one of the best linebackers I've ever seen at taking on these huge linemen and knocking them back, using his hands to get them out of his way. That's just not something you see a whole lot from a just strict linebacker. Maybe an edge guy can do that a lot, but a linebacker throwing linemen backwards and moving them out of the way with their hands, he's really good at it. They say he can't cover. Well, he doesn't cover that much because he's so good at what he does at the line, but he's got the speed to cover guys if he has to. And yesterday he was all over the place, 12 tackles. He had a sack. He had 2.5, tackles for loss. He was, once again, just like he was in the Texas game, he was one of the best players on the field, if not the best when he was out there.
Sean?
I have to agree with Nate with Arvell. I mean, it's easy to give him the player of the game, but I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to go with Kenyatta Jackson. The guy had an awesome game. It was great to see him. I know he got dinged up a little bit early in the season, but the dude was shining yesterday, and he kind of had his coming out party. And I'm proud of him, and I'm happy for the guy and his family. Great people.
Do you think Penn State fans were thinking they have another JTT?
Yeah.
Like, he was kind of dominating that first half
He was
there a
pick
little
six
bit.
away.
Yeah, he was a pick 6 away from having a JTT game against Penn State. Chris,
It's so hard not to go with one of those two guys. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and agree with Sean on this, even though Arvell I think is the easy pick. I got to go with Kenyatta because it was just nice to see him be able to step up 2 sacks yesterday, 2.5 tackles for loss. It was good to see him finally have a really good, solid game.
he had only had one Buckeye leaf all year from us. He gets number 2 and number 3 tonight with his performance Saturday, so good on him. All right, let's go to our offensive play of the game, Nate.
Offensive play of the game was definitely the first drive coming out of the locker room after halftime with the deep shot to, I believe it was Jeremiah. And that to me, that changed the whole complexion of the game because it set us up for another score. And it just, we got behind them again. I just think that was a huge point in the game and a big play, a perfect throw, and just a great catch. So that was it for me.
I'm gonna go with Jeremiah, but I'm gonna go with the one that was deflected and he caught with one hand. That was just an amazing play, man. Hats off to the dude. He's an alien, a super freak, whatever you want to call him, but that was just amazing.
He's a super freaky.
Yeah, for me, I got to go with the Jeremiah Smith tip catch as well. The concentration that took and the extension to make that one-arm catch, it was inhuman. It really was. I'm going to go with Smith there as well.
Shouldn't have happened though. Ball was tipped. Penn State defender totally could have just tackled him.
Hey, he kept it so that Sayan had more touchdown passes than incompletions.
Yeah, that's right.
That was big.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, that was. That was. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean? Ouch, Mika. That was a good callback to a funky song. Defensive play or hit of the game, Nate.
Oh man, there was a lot of them, but I would definitely probably have to go with the Kenyatta's second sack. That one was huge. As you guys mentioned, I was leaning towards him as well. As a great game. We haven't had like a breakout game from him. We've had flashes of him, but this was where he kind of put together a whole game. And that second sack of his was probably my favorite hit and my favorite play, out of him for the entire season. And I love it. I love seeing him come after it. We need a guy that can come off the edge and do it. If we're just rushing 4, I think he can be that guy that can get back there and give pressure. And that play really showed it to me.
I tell you what, if him and Caden Curry get going, man, together, they both can lock in. Man, that defense is going to be even better. I'm going to go with the Caleb Downs interception. It was a heck of a play. And that's one thing it's one thing this defense really hasn't done a lot of this year is get takeaways. So, I mean, it was great to get another interception. So it was an awesome pick by him too.
Yeah, was it targeting? Was it not targeting? I don't know. But it daggone sure was the hit of the game. He blew him up. I'm going to go with Caleb's big pop.
Being called dirty for that too.
What's that?
He was being called a dirty player today by a certain podcast, which was funny because they said if it had done in the first half, at the beginning of the game to set the tone, that'd be different. But the game was out of reach, so he shouldn't have done it then.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Exactly. We get called soft.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Give these guys an opportunity to go get a drink, use the restroom. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We're gonna open the floor to discussion, topics, questions to the chat. So start putting those in there. I'll star them. We'll get to as many as we can tonight. So hang tight, everybody.
Hey, Buckeye Nation. The OHIO podcast is thrilled to partner with Export Mouthguards, the innovators redefining protection in contact sports. Introducing the Ninja Pro Mouthguard, the strongest and most advanced mouthguard on the market. Engineered by dental experts, it's designed to deliver elite protection with a sleek, low-profile fit. Made with carbon fiber and multi-layer construction, it's impact tested to keep you safe from even the hardest hits. But that's not all. The Ninja Pro is 3D printed for 100% custom fit, offering unbeatable comfort and security for any athlete. From football to MMA, dominate your game with confidence while safeguarding your teeth and jaw. Getting started is easy. Use our home impression kit to create your custom fit and enjoy prepaid shipping. It's protection delivered right to your door. Plus, with a 1-year warranty and 100% satisfaction guarantee, and proudly made in the USA, the Ninja Pro is your ultimate defense on the field or in the ring. And here's the best part. When you visit exportguards.com, use promo code OHIO at checkout to get 20% off your purchase. That's right, 20% off elite protection made just for you. Protect your game, protect your future. Choose Export Ninja Pro Mouthguards, where innovation meets protection. Head to exportguards.com and use promo code OHIO today.
We want to thank our sponsors for giving us the opportunity to do this evening. A Place at Home Senior Care is one of those sponsors, and they deserve your patronage if you live in and around the Dublin, Central Ohio area, and you have a loved one who could use some help. Maybe they have a recent hospitalization, stroke, fall. Maybe they have dementia. Place at Home Dublin provides home care supportive services like bathing, dressing, mobility assistance, and medication reminders, all in the comfort of their home. You can learn more by going to their website, aplaceathome.com/Dublin, or you can give them a call, 740-472-8181. We're also sponsored by MyBookie. That's right. Head on over to MyBookie. Use promo code OHIO, OHIO, to get $500 of bet back insurance. If you listen to my advice, you're going to need that $500 of bet back insurance. So go over to MyBookie and use promo code OHIO and make sure you're insured when placing those bets and winning that moolah on the weekends. Also, guys, check out our Patreon. It is absolutely banging over there. You want insider information? We got it. You want a place to chat and discuss Ohio State football, recruiting? We got it. You want extra podcasts like the Illuminati? That's right. Illuminati. Make sure I say it right. The Illuminati, we got it. TG talks about Buckeyes and the NFL. We've got it. Sean going to be dropping shows with former Buckeyes where they watch former games together and get the color commentary from the actual guys who played in the game. That's coming. We've got so much going on there, including What Drives Me Wild by Chris and Talking Buckeyes with Bogsy. All of that over there, and it only costs $5. That's it. That's all it costs. You get all of it. There is a $20 fee if you want to go to the next level. And we're going to have a drawing. Chris, we need to make sure that we have that drawing. Maybe we should do that tomorrow night for the prize for those who are in the $20 category. But $5 gets you in. Is there a free version? Yeah, you get one chat board though. So, and none of the insider information is dropped under there. None of the recruiting information. None of that good stuff. $5 a month. That's all it costs. It's the cheapest out there. I've gone and looked at what the message boards cost at some of the other Ohio State places. And guys, I'm here to tell you, Our insider's better. I know. You want to know how I know? Because they were mad at us when he's working for us. That's how I know. So head on over to our Patreon page. The link is right below. Join, be a part of it. It's awesome. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. All right, guys, let's get back into it here. I've got some topics, some questions starred. Let me go through them again. Thank you, Ed. Appreciate that. Let me go through these real fast and star a couple more. There's some good ones here. So we're going to have plenty to talk about here in the second part of the show. Nate, are you on a time crunch or anything this evening?
I'm good, man. As long as you need me, I am here for you.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Okay, let's see here. Beautiful. Thank you, Eric. 97.1 The Fan, The Dispatch. Who cares? I have Patreon and then Buck Vader. That's what we're saying.
That's right there.
Oh yeah,
That is what we're saying. Dude is worth every penny of that, man. Bobby Max says, I need a tutor to learn how to use Patreon. I might have to make a tutorial for you then, I guess. We can do that. All right, let's get into it here. Let me go up here to our starred ones, and let's start from the beginning. Tyler says, is Purdue better than Michigan? They certainly played like it yesterday. Let's go around, give your answer yes, no, or why. We'll start with you, Nate.
Are they better? No, but they certainly showed some issues that Michigan has. I mean, this quarterback who's, we've never seen anything like him before. Well, yeah, that's true. But all they've really been able to do this year is run the football, and that's what they were able to do on Purdue. So, are they better? Is Purdue better than them? No, but without big gashes in the run game, that could have been a Purdue victory, which is got to be a little bit nerve-wracking for the folks up north.
Sean.
No, they're not. Michigan still has more talent, higher chip ratio, blue chip guys. But last night, man, they could have had them. That all-star quarterback that they paid, $15 million for couldn't hit water if he fell off a boat last night. And some of the plays that they were doing, I mean, that passing game is horrendous. And people are even saying that he's regressed. So they could have had him last night. This stinks at Purdue. There's a reason we call him Purdue. So,
Chris.
So this is my take on it. There was one place that I can tell you I think that Purdue is superior for sure to Michigan, and I think that's in coaching. I think that Purdue had a better game plan. I think at the end what happened is the old saying, talent wills out. And as you guys have mentioned, there are more blue chip guys at Michigan than there are at Purdue. I think honestly, if the roles were switched and the coaches were flopped, I would be a lot more scared of Michigan this year than I am. And everyone's talking about Bryce Underwood, and I hear them all defending him because he's an 18-year-old kid. You know what? Then maybe the 18-year-old kid shouldn't be starting until he's ready. And the fact is, we haven't seen a guy like this before because we've never seen somebody with so much hype suck quite so badly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, what's bad is the kid has talent.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to break him. They are going to ruin this kid's career. And I'm just throwing it out there now.
Hugh, and I won't finish the rest of your name. Hugh said, our boy Hugh, why isn't Tim Walton talked about for head coaching jobs? Way more experience and more coaching connections than Hartline. That's a very good question, Nate.
That is a very good question, especially, obviously Hartline's biggest thing is his recruiting. Well, Tim Walton's a pretty damn good recruiter too. So I never really thought about that until reading that right now, but that is a good question. And I don't know why. Maybe just because Hartline, has got the NFL wide receiver pedigree and brings in the big name wideouts. Maybe he gets a little bit more of the pub. But I could see, Walton certainly getting a chance and maybe getting interviewed. There's certainly a number of jobs out there. There's enough for everybody. So I don't want to lose both those guys, but I could see it happening.
I think maybe it might have to do with his age because he's quite older. So maybe sometimes a lot of these people might want a younger coach. Maybe that has to do with it. But I mean, if you look, man, we're DBU along with wide receiver U. So I mean, he should be getting more chances than what he's been getting.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there, but why he's really respected as a position coach and a recruiter. I think he kind of lacks recent experience as a sole defensive coordinator or a head coach at the collegiate level, and I think that lack of experience as a sole coordinator hurts him a little bit. And we see the hype he brings. We see the energy he brings to this team. I don't think that's recognized a lot outside of the Ohio State circle. Brian Hartline, getting a lot of talk right now, even though he's not got a lot of experience either. But you know what? That I think has a lot to do with, if you look at his pedigree since he came to Ohio State and the number of number one receivers that have gone out, first round receivers that have gone out of here. It's very kind of similar to what you hear people talk about with Lincoln Riley and the quarterbacks. I think they draw a similarity there. But I'm here to tell you guys right now, I don't think Brian Hartline's ready to be head coach yet either.
I agree.
But that being said, I think that's the biggest distraction from Tim Walton getting being talked about a little bit more.
I'm going to say the uncomfortable thing. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter, but you're right. It's going to, Eric.
Tim Walton has a little bit of a tick when he talks, and and it shouldn't matter, but it does when it comes to hiring a head coach, because appearances mean everything to some of these schools. And like I said, it shouldn't matter because he's a dang good football coach. And he deserves every ounce of the credit that he's getting from Ohio State. I wonder if that hasn't played an issue for him throughout his coaching career and prohibiting him from climbing the ladder more outside of being a position coach. But thank my lucky stars and thank God that Ohio State is that God is a Ohio State Woody Hayes fan, that he's here and he's coaching for us. So, but that's what I got there. Oh my gosh, let's see. You guys are just killing us with questions. We're not going to be able to get through all of them tonight. I'm just going to be straight up honest
Eric,
with you
stop
guys.
being a wuss. Let's do this thing.
Well, we need to hurry it up then. Let's go to Nick Quint's next one. I hope Hartline stays. I know he's being mentioned for openings. Well, let's talk about it. Let's go there, Nate. You get to take it first, buddy.
Yeah, he's been mentioned. And could someone potentially offer him a head coaching job? I mean, maybe. Do I think that Penn State, LSU, or Florida, one of those big teams, is going to? I don't think they are. This is his first year really being the offensive coordinator, calling plays. I know he's tried before, but it feels like this is more him calling plays here. And I think he loves being at Ohio State too. I mean, even if he were to get a head coaching job, would he just take it? If it was one of those top ones, he would. But I think some guys are happy being assistant coaches, and he's a damn good one, making a lot of money doing it. And I think he enjoys being at Ohio State, his alma mater, and living in Columbus. That also has a lot to do with it. His family, lives here and is in the community and going to school here. His kids are. His hot wife and everything. So he might want to stick around. And, some of these times you go and you do your first head coaching job, and if it doesn't go well, then you're kind of screwed. So you better be sure it's the right one if you're going to, get into that mix, because it could be the only one you get. And I don't think he's going to take one this cycle. I just don't.
I honestly think he's the head coach in waiting. I honestly think they're grooming him to take over whenever Ryan Day decides to go to the NFL. Because I feel like Ryan Day is going to want to climb that mountain and go for the Super Bowl. I think he's going to want to take a shot at the NFL sooner or later. Now I'm not saying it's going to be next year, but I could see 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, that him taking that shot. And I think they're trying to groom Hartline right now, but I don't think he's ready right now. Honestly, I think it'd be a mistake if he went to an LSU or a Penn State because I don't think he has what it takes to succeed yet.
Yeah, 100% agree with you guys. I think that he is the coach in waiting. I think they've told him this. But what all these job offers and these interviews are going to do is get Ohio State to back up the truck for him just a little bit more. So good for him. But here's what I also look at. The jobs that are out there open, I hope that he has the common sense to pick up the phone before he does it and just talk to Luke Fickell. Ask him about what happens when you jump too fast to a bigger program. Of the jobs that are out there right now, I don't know that there's an attractive one for him. So I don't think, I'm like Nate, I don't think he goes this cycle. I just don't. I think he's happy with where he's at. And I think Sean's right. I think he's the coach in waiting.
Boy, this is going to sound rough. Everything Brian Hartline has touched has turned to gold. And I told you all going into the season, there's no reason to not believe he won't become a great offensive coordinator.
With time.
He's not there yet. He's got 8 games in. Okay?
Yes.
Is it looked really good? Yeah, it's looked really good. But I can't call him a great offensive coordinator. Now, I understand you don't have to be a great coordinator to be a great head coach. And I don't want to contradict myself by saying everything he's touched has turned to gold and then say he shouldn't be a head coach. But what I'm about to say about Penn State is the facts. They're on a serious rebuild. I don't know that you turn over the reins of a program that's going to be on a serious rebuild to someone who's got 8 games in as an offensive coordinator.
No.
They need someone with serious experience. They took their swing. They took their swing at Urban Meyer. We know they did. Yeah.
Probably at Saban as well.
Oh, I thought that someone knocked on my door. Probably Nick Saban as well. Absolutely. They had to. Anybody who has a job open, you kick those tires regardless, right? Obviously, Urban's going to turn that down now. But I'm here to tell you, if you're looking at Brian Hartline and Joe Brady has done it longer and at more places, has more experience to take a team over like Penn State and a job over like Penn State that needs a serious rebuild than what Brian Hartline has done right now. So if I'm Penn State, I'm thinking Joe Brady gets us back to where we were a year ago and 2 years ago faster than what Brian Hartline can do. Now, can Brian Hartline recruit? Yeah, he can recruit. But you're looking for a CEO over everything here. Brady's done that much more successfully longer and in the NFL, by the way, too. And so that's who I would go with if I was Penn State.
If you're going to go with the coordinator, that's the thing.
Right.
I don't even think they should go the coordinator route. They need an established head coach. If you look back, they need, O'Brien when he came in there.
Yeah.
This is not quite as bad as that, but it's close. Not so much the situation as far as why, but the situation as far as where the program is at. They need somebody who's a more established head coach who can nurture this program back to health.
Let me say this too, real fast about Ryan Day with aspect of this as well. Oftentimes, folks, we miss the human aspect of these things. We look at the dollars and cents We look at the rosters, where can you win, the support that they'll get from the administration, the athletic department, etc. And I'm trying to find the comment that was in here about Ryan Day. I should have. Here we go. It was Hugh. He says, I think Day is gone after his son graduates high school. One of three things would cause Ryan Day to leave Ohio State. One almost happened last year. Okay? I'm not so naive to think if all of a sudden we're staring at 5 in a row against the team up north at the end of November, that there won't be a large portion of this fan base start chirping again. And as was just written in that book about last season, shout out to the guy who used to work at the Dispatch who wrote the book. His name slipped my mind. Nina Day was literally packing the house up, guys. That's how close it came to them walking away. That's number one. Number two, you mentioned it, Nate. The desire he's won a national championship. Can I go win a Super Bowl too? That is such a small class of coaches who've done both that you are immediately considered one of the greatest of all time. No matter what else happened in your career, if you can win a national championship and a Super Bowl. I want to try to say Johnson and
Switzer.
Is that it?
You could. Paul Brown did it, but there wasn't a Super Bowl then. It was an NFL championship.
That's the only one I know.
Wow. Right? Okay.
Carroll.
Saban.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. Yep.
It's something that Urban Meyer didn't do. Nick Saban didn't do. Okay. So there's that. And then number 3, Hugh hits on it right here. Ryan Day Jr., RJ, is going to be entering his senior year of high school next year. I hope he comes to Ohio State as a walk-on and develops for 2 years before he goes to wherever he wants to go for his 3 years of eligibility remaining to become a starting quarterback somewhere in the country. And so that he can get the opportunity, this would be a dream, to get on the field and throw a touchdown pass while his dad is head coach at Ohio State. That would be an epic thing to happen. I want to see that for Ryan and for RJ so bad, okay? I want to see that happen. But he's going to do what he wants to do. He's going to go to a school that he wants to go to. And he's got offers from West Virginia, Marshall, several MAC schools. I know Clemson, and he's visited Clemson several times.
BG.
Boston College.
No, has BG offered him?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's several MAC. Again, BG's the dream, right? With Eddie. Anyways, that's the other thing is he could say, you know what? I want to go watch my son play. And by then, his daughters will probably be either getting close to graduating or in high school and playing volleyball, softball, etc. And he's not gotten to do any of that as a dad.
Right.
And if we win 2, it's going to be a whole lot easier to say I've accomplished something that only Woody Hayes did here. And I'm going to hand over the reins now to Brian Hartline. I think very much that there is definitely that is definitely in the cards here. And if they can make him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the country and he stays here, and oh yeah, by the way, not only does he have a hot wife, like Nate said, he's got little ones too who are in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not going to want to pull them out of school and travel all over the country and chase that. So good on you guys. This is a good conversation. Great topic there. All right. Let's see how many more we can get to here.
Let's
Brian
not forget
Oberst.
Hartline's also an Ohio guy. I mean, grew up in
yeah.
Elyria, just up the road. I mean, not too far away. So his family's still in Ohio.
He's never coached anywhere else.
Yeah.
No.
Brian Oberst, should Sane, Smith, and Tate all be in the Heisman conversation, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should. The problem is when you have multiple players from the same team, is that it eats up the votes when you get to the end. So do you want to promote all three of those guys and then have, promote them so much that at the end somebody takes all the votes? I mean, I think at this point, the university, as you mentioned, opened the website and started the campaign. It sounds to me like they've realized that Sayin probably has the best chance to win. It's a quarterback award for the most part. We've seen a couple of wideouts win it, but just with getting double covered like Jeremiah is getting, with all the attention that defense has put on him, that's opened up, a lot of plays for Carnell. So those guys are kind of, eating each other's catches away. And that makes a big difference. Numbers are huge, obviously, when you're talking about Heisman Trophy winning. And at this point, I think Julian's probably the best candidate to take home the award based on the way the season has gone. So I think really he's the guy that the university is getting behind, and probably everyone should be if you're an Ohio State fan and you want somebody to win.
I think they could be. Hey, great question by my friend and my old classmate, Brian Oberst. I think, though, they would, like Nate said, that year when Chase Young and Justin Fields were in it, they just took away, each other's votes. I think, it very could be Carnell and JJ take away votes from each other for the Bolshnikov Award, too. So, I mean, I think Sayin was the right choice to push, though.
Sayin was absolutely the right choice to push, because this is what you have to look at. And this is what the voters, and let's call it what they are, the very thin-minded voters are going to think. JJ and Carnell can't do it without Sayin. Sayin, by having these two guys with such similar numbers, shows that he could do it without one or the other of them. Sayin is the guy you've got to push here, because in the mind of the voters, that's they're going to say is, well, he can do it without them, but they can't do it without him. Right or wrong, that's what they're thinking, and that's why I think the university made a wise choice in pushing Sayin.
Agreed. However, let me paint this awesome scenario for you guys. We're getting ready to turn on the TV, and Desmond Howard comes on, and sitting in the front row, the three players that have been invited to New York are Julian Sayin, Jeremiah Smith, and Carnell Tate.
The Ohio State guy might actually win if that was the case.
Yeah.
And then they drag him out back and beat the crap out of him.
To choose from.
Julian Sayin wins the award, and then he gets up and says, "This award is not just my award, but it's our award." They all get up together, and Desmond's over there just. That would be
worth it just to see the look on Dez's face.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, next question. Man, some really good ones tonight. Donald Hoffer. My question is, what is the over-under for teams calling Matt Patricia to be a head coach? I'll set it at 5. Obviously, Brian Hartline is the golden goose, but I think Patricia will get calls.
Yeah, I don't know about that. This is his first year, being a defensive coordinator in college football ever. He hasn't been in college football in 20 years since he was a GA. So it's not like this guy's just been ripping college football up for a long time. Is he doing a tremendous job? Yeah. Does that mean that he would be a great college football head coach? I'm not so sure about that. I mean, this guy had serious flaws as a head coach in Detroit. Now, obviously, that was the NFL level, and there was other things going on at Detroit at that time with the things start at the top, and obviously ownership was having issues. So I'm not going to throw Patricia under the bus completely for what happened in Detroit. However, I'm just not sure that anyone's going to just hand him a head coaching job in the Division I level right now. I don't see that happening. I would go, could he possibly get a call? Yeah, but I do not see 5 people giving him a call if there's one.
I say under. I think the guy, I think he's doing a great job of rebuilding his credibility and his character. But he took a pretty big hit when he was at Detroit. And let's face it, there's not been many coaches that won at Detroit. So I mean, the guy gets kind of a bad rap, and I think he learned the hard way as he's not Bill Belichick, and he tried to be Bill Belichick and run it the way Bill Belichick does things. So I think maybe down the road he might get some calls, but I don't see anybody really giving him any calls next year. As a coordinator at the next level, yes, but not as a head coach.
Pete Thamel has been saying that he's been receiving calls supposedly, but let's face it, Pete Thamel's about as reliable as Bryce Underwood's passing game. You look at this guy; he hasn't been a coach full time in college since 2003. He's just getting his feet wet again. I think he's having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think he enjoys what he's doing. And Sean, you mentioned a name just a minute ago that I think before someone hires him as a head coach, they're going to think long and hard about, and that's Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. Look at the lack of success that he has had at the collegiate level now. A guy who quite possibly is ruining his legacy in football, where he was considered by many as one of the greatest of all time by this little coaching stint in college. To me, I don't think Matt Patricia sets himself up for that. But more importantly, until he's got more time back in college, I don't think college programs, especially major programs, are going to set themselves up for that. So I'm definitely hitting the under.
I can't get over the fact that Bill Belichick's grandchildren, when they come and visit him, are calling his girlfriend grandma, and she's younger than they are. I'll
that's
never.
A hot grandma.
I can. If Bart was here, only if Bart was here would the comments would start flying. I can't with that. Moving on. Don't want to get in trouble. Jeffrey Johnston, will the SEC bias be a part of seeding in the playoff selection committee, Nate?
Yeah. It always is. You've seen the narrative shift week by week as to who the greatest team in college football is. It was like LSU at the beginning of the season, and then it goes to Vanderbilt, and actually it was Texas at the beginning. Then it went when Texas lost. Then it went quickly to LSU, and then they were loving on Vanderbilt, and then they lost. So yeah, I mean, and now it's just all the teams in the SEC are good, and that's why teams are losing. So the Buckeye bias is real. I can tell you. From living in Columbus for 20 years like I did, and then living down here for a long time as I have. People talk nonstop about, our schedule or who we're playing or whatever. And they just feel like the SEC is superior. And, it's shown its head, even last year. And I'm not so sure that there is 4 teams from the SEC that are playoff worthy, but do I think that they will get 4 in? I do. I think they probably will, just because it's the SEC. They got, Feinbaum blowing the horn, not to mention the rest of his cronies. So they'll get 4 in probably, and they most likely do not deserve 4.
The old saying is money talks, and they got a lot of money down there. I mean, you got idiots saying that if Alabama wins the rest of their games, they should finish as the number 1 seed over Ohio State. I mean, that's how stupid some of these people are. But like you said, Nate, I think they get 4 teams in. Do they deserve 4? Probably not. But I think it's either that or a smaller school get in. I think they'll favor the bigger school, the bigger brand. So I think there'll be bias, of course.
Yeah, you look at this, and I've ranted about this all stinking season. The fact that, and it starts at the beginning of the season with their bogus preseason rankings, which I'm not even going down that discussion again because we've beaten that like a dead horse. But here's the thing. Right now, I'm with you guys. If there are 4 teams that deserve to be in from the SEC, Georgia's not one of them, because they right now should be 7-3. I'm sorry, they should be actually 5-3, 6-4, or no, 4-4, because the officials have bailed them out so many times.
Okay, I got you.
Honestly, if there are 4 legitimate teams that should be in from the SEC, it's Texas A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, and Texas. And again, I don't agree that 4 teams should get in. I think 4 teams will get in. But you know what? I'm going to probably irritate a lot of people here when I say this too. I don't think there's 4 teams from the Big Ten that are worthy of getting in this year either.
No, I don't either.
I honestly feel like this could be the most balanced year, or should be the most balanced year as far as the playoffs go, but it won't be. So I mean, if you were to ask me right now, yes, the SEC bias is going to play a factor in the seeding. Georgia's going to get in, and they shouldn't, and they're going to be ranked probably as the 5th best team, depending on what happens in the Ohio State Indiana Big Ten playoff game. Yes, I'm jumping ahead that far. Depending on what happens in that game, Georgia's either 5th or 6th, and they shouldn't be. I have a real problem with Georgia even being in there. So yeah, the bias rears its ugly head like it always does.
Now I got a question for you guys. Do you think Illinois deserves to get in
No,
as a 4th team? Because the only teams they lost to is Indiana and Ohio State.
they lost to Washington.
No, they lost to Washington.
Oh, did they lose to Washington?
Yeah,
Okay.
they lost by 50 points.
Oh crap!
So
The team no one's talking about, and I don't understand why they're not, is BYU. They're undefeated. They play Texas Tech this week. If BYU beats Texas Tech this week, that team's in.
If BYU beats Texas Tech, I'm going to be honest. They should be at worst the 5th seed. At worst.
And Miami's now got 2 losses, and you go look at the ACC
Miami's
standings.
out.
There are 6 teams ahead of Miami in the ACC. See if I can name them here. Virginia, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Pitt. There's 2 more. There's 6 teams ahead of Miami.
SMU and Duke.
SMU and Duke. There you go. All of them are ahead of Miami in the conference standings. Miami absolutely has to win out. And even then, at 10-2, you wonder, and some of the discussion has been happening in the chat, will a 9-3 team get put in over them at that point?
Here's the other thing. You have a Louisville team that's going to hold a head-to-head against them, which makes them harder. And that's why, if you look, and I know that you guys are saying Notre Dame's in, they have a lack of a quality win, and now that Miami team is making their quality loss look even worse.
Yeah.
Correct. But if Miami drops a third, it doesn't matter at that point.
And I see them dropping another game. They've got 4 games left.
Yep.
It's Syracuse, NC State, Virginia Tech, and Pitt. Syracuse is not good. NC State or Pitt, one of those 2 teams I think will beat them, potentially both of them, especially the way that Carson Beck is throwing the ball to the other team at this point. I don't see them getting through the rest of that 4-game conference schedule unscathed, especially the way it's looking right now. They're puckered up pretty tight down in Coral Gables.
Oh, yes, they are.
And
Again, I'll remind you all, in the month of November, under what's his name? Cristobal.
Mario.
Since 2022, Miami is 4 wins, 9 losses in the month of November. They're losing again.
Hey, can we put him on the list with Brian Kelly and James Franklin as overrated?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's got to be up there with those guys, man.
And
this
Ken
guy
Taco,
collapses like Mike Loxley in November.
by the way, guys, does anybody want to know who Pitt's starting quarterback is, by the way? He's a true freshman from Oregon, Ohio. That's Toledo area.
Oh,
He's very They've looked a completely different team since he took over.
His offers were Toledo, Bowling Green, Mac Schools, and Pitt.
Wow.
And he went to Pitt.
What school did he go to, you know? What high school? Is it
Oregon.
Clay?
Whatever
Oregon.
the Oregon high school is. I think it's Oregon.
So I didn't know if it
Is
was
there?
Oregon Clay. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to make me look it up. Hold on.
Because I was going to say, we used to play Stritch, and that's a small school, so it's probably
Let me-
Clay.
Maybe
Let
we
me
need
look.
to see if Wargo can hook us up with some tickets to see this guy.
Is it Eli Holstein? Is that his name? No.
No, it's Mason Henschel.
There we go. Yeah. Let's see what high school he went to, Sean. Clay.
Clay? Okay.
Yeah. I remember doing a Border Wars episode with the Toledo podcast, and we were talking about him, and they're like, we have no idea why no one's talking about this kid. He's amazing. And yeah, Pitt
So what you're saying is
apparently.
he probably won't be at Pitt next year.
Well, what's funny is the two flagship schools from the state of Pennsylvania, Pitt and Penn State, both have Ohio high school quarterbacks now playing for them. And Drew Aller was too, by the way. And now
Yes.
Ethan Gruckmeyer, who's from just down the road from where I live in Olentangy, who famously had a helicopter land on their field when James Franklin showed up when they were playing in against Ohio State. Yeah, so there you go. All right. All right, here we go. We got 63 people watching YouTube. Thank you so much, everybody who's checking out the show. We've got actually 159 people overall watching the program right now. Please hit the like button if you don't mind. We really appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. Hey, look who it is, everybody. Roy. Prayers out to our friend Roy. God bless you, buddy. Good to see you tonight. Hope things are going well. Let's get back to the questions real fast to see if we can get one more. I know we're up against it now. It's 9:30, which means we're officially in overtime. Let's see here. Eric says, are you guys going to do a live on Tuesday night? My plan is to probably do a live over on the College Huddle. My plan will be, because Tuesday night is our Buckeye Lounge. So Buckeye Lounge will be doing a live show there, and then I'm going to take probably the College Huddle and go live, see if we can do it, to do the reveal, since it'll be, more than just Ohio State, obviously. But there's that. So good question. Oh, Don McClure. Will Ryan Day go to the portal and pick up a running back? Yes, he's going to have to, because we're going to lose 2 running backs to the portal. That is my, that's my guesstimation. I think we're definitely going to lose the
Peoples.
No, I don't know that we're going to lose Peoples. We'll see how that goes. I think we're going to lose the guy who was in the portal and then jump back out of the portal and.
Kane Dixon.
Sam Dixon.
Sam Dixon Williams.
And I'm hearing rumors that Turbo is going to jump in the portal.
I hope not.
I can see that.
And Eric, and you might know better than I do. I've got a gut and just a gut feeling that we could see a flip too.
Oh, you mean in the recruiting class we're going to get a flip to us or a flip from us?
Away from us.
Oh, you talking about Favor?
Yeah.
Nah, he won't flip. He'll just. No, I don't think he'll flip. Go over to Patreon if you want some of that information. Okay, let's go to the next question here real fast. Man, there's some really good ones. I wish we had time for all of these. Mangoes. Man, I don't know how to really. I'm going to see if these guys have a way to attack this question, because this is interesting. Illinois and Penn State exploited our weakness on D. I don't know that Penn State exploited our weakness on D. They had one drive. That second touchdown was gift wrap to them.
And they really only had one big running play.
What cracks do you see in our defense at this point that needs improvement for TTUN Big Ten championship game and the playoffs? I know Sean's going to scream, stop playing zone.
Yeah.
Sean, even during the live, even though you weren't with us, somehow I heard you. When you're back in zone, I'm just Sean screaming from up in northern Ohio, and the wind caught it just right and brought it down here. He was all mad about that. do you guys fear that? Do you fear that there's any cracks on the defense? Like, what would, if you're an offensive coordinator, how would you attack this defense? I think that's the way to present this question.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the crack as of yet. I mean, my biggest concern going into the year was the defensive line replacing 4 starters. Did I think we had talent there? I did. But did I think that they were going to be better or as good as the 4 guys from last year? I had concerns about that, especially, right off the bat. I don't know if I have those concerns anymore, especially after watching McDonald play. I mean, he's kind of taken Tyreek his role. I mean, I don't know if there's a huge drop off there. And then I like what I've seen out of Malone, Houston. I mean, the depth is still a little bit of an issue, but the only thing that scares me, or the only thing that worries me, is obviously stopping the run against that team, because that's the only thing they can do. I can't say I've seen cracks yet. They before yesterday, they'd given up 12 points in the first half. So if there's a crack, somebody show it to me, because I haven't seen it.
In the chat, Bobby Mack saying misdirection with pulling guards has messed with our linebackers a couple times.
That's true.
Good. That's a good observation, Bobby Mack. But you can't run that every time.
No.
That's something that might catch us off guards, but it's not going to be the emphasis of your offensive game plan. Bradley says, only time I see wide receivers open against us is when we are in zone. Sean amens that comment. He also says play action, but I think play action is based off of having a good run game. So you're going to need to absolutely be able to run the football against us successfully in order for play action to be a success.
I'll tell you, Eric, for me, I think it's about, I think that specifically screens, wide receiver screens, the runs off the edge tend to give us a little bit more problem. But more than anything, it happens when teams go tempo. Tempo does seem to get to us a little bit. That's what Illinois did that actually had an effect on us, was they went tempo.
But if you look, they were playing zone and they let him get in a freaking rhythm, and that's what drove me nuts.
You are absolutely right.
Why let Altmaier get into a rhythm? I mean,
or Grunkmeyer, either one. Yeah. I got you. I'll be honest. I don't know that Penn State plays any better with Altmaier at quarterback yesterday. I really don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
Aller. I really don't.
I never thought he was that good.
I agree, Nate. I didn't either.
That was the whole thing with going into this season, where everyone was like, Penn State's gonna win the national championship, and Penn State is gonna, be one of the best teams. And I'm like, well, when did this quarterback get better? Because I never saw a game from him where I thought, oh wow, that he's got it, or he can get it done. I mean, I never saw it, and I still haven't. And he got injured, but was he leading them to the championship? No, I mean, I just never saw it, and I just don't think he was ever as good as they thought he was going to be. He just doesn't have what it takes.
Well, I thought last year's team was better because they lost their best offensive player and their best defensive player, and they didn't do anything to replenish that. I mean, they had no receivers that scare you. I mean, Warren was their big threat, vertically, and he's gone. I mean, you had the 2 running backs. That was it.
Carter was the difference maker. I mean, he was the best player on their team last year, not Drew Aller. It was Carter, and
let me toot my own horn. Called that one, Chris.
You did. You absolutely did. This is the thing about this whole discussion.
Yeah, go for it.
Our despite some minor weaknesses we might have on defense, I think that Matt Patricia has shown the ability to adjust and do what is necessary to fix any issue that comes up during a game. He is a mad scientist with a lot of toys to play with. We've said this, and any complaining we're doing right here is really a first world problem to have.
Yeah. Let me push back on this comment. Go at Caden Curry and Kenyatta Jackson like we all did. All 22 shows it, and the analytics say 25 snaps we had positive push rate that could lead to plays over 5 yards. Well, why didn't you then? Why didn't you?
Yeah.
All 22 shows we did this and we did that and we could do that. Well, why didn't you?
Also shows you got your butt kicked too.
38-14, bro.
Why is it you had 55 rushing yards and 26 of them came on one carry?
50. Say that again, Chris, for those in the back who can't
Why
hear.
is it they had a total of 55 rushing yards and 26 of them came on one carry? Yeah. That is half your total rushing production. Now, granted, they had negative 39 yards from their tremendous quarterback on the 4 sacks. And, oh, yeah, Kenyatta Jackson had 2 of, by the way, you moron.
How many rushing yards did they have?
So let's run right at his ass. Let's go ahead and do that, idiot.
Honestly, they got lucky that Heartline kind of screwed up with the play calling and ran running plays on 3rd and 4 twice, and on that that fumble that should have been a fumble, but while you're running it there, I mean, we probably would have scored on those 3 drives if that didn't happen. So,
all right, let's finish this up here. Wrap this up real fast. Bobby Mack, that's a great question. We don't have time tonight. It's already 9:41. We might do a video about this. I might come back. I'm going to hold this up there so I can maybe grab this question after the fact and do an entire video on it because that's a really good question. Buck Vader, real fast, go around here. Next coach that gets fired. His guess is the Florida State head coach. Nate, who's the next coach that's getting fired?
I mean, I really think it may be Fickell. I mean, I know they've given him a lot of support, but I don't know. It just keeps getting worse week by week. And I don't know how you could fire the guy before Fickell and then act like he deserves another year. I think he may be next.
And I agree with Nate. Fickell.
It's hard to say. I'm leaning towards Buck Vader's answer at Florida State. I don't know, though, that we don't hear something come out before that either Bill Belichick or Dabo Swinney is mutually parting with the team.
I could see Dabo. I could see Dabo leaving and going somewhere else and mutually parting. I think that's possible for sure, especially where we're at with that now.
How about Dabo to Florida? Southern guy?
Don't be surprised if Auburn goes after him.
I mean, they did great with another head coach that was a receivers coach.
Dabo's an Alabama guy.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a receiver coach, turned head coach. I mean, last one that they hired, that was a receiver coach turned head coach. That was Meyer. So
I could see Dabo going to Auburn. He's played at Alabama. He coached there. He knows how to recruit there. I definitely think they're calling him.
Given the craziness of this coaching carousel already, a lot of people are saying, whoa, we might need to just stay with who we got because it is going to get insane. This next month, think about it.
There's going to be some very rich coaches.
Every job that's open is going to open probably another job if you go after another head coach. It's going to the carousel is going to be nuts. And it trickles its way down to the group of 5. And what's going to be sad is it's going to affect bowl season for a lot of group of 5 teams who had great seasons whose head coach leaves before the bowl game.
And let's not forget when the portal window opens this year, Eric.
Yes, which leads me to my next question. Akron Rex, do you guys think it's going to have plenty to choose from in the portal? Yes, this is going to be the craziest portal season of all time. December, every day we're gonna be on here making videos every day in December about what's happening in the portal every single day. It's gonna be nuts. Don McClure, real fast. Can Ohio State flip the 2026 Auburn recruit safety Womack? Will James Franklin head to Auburn? That is James Franklin to Auburn. Interesting one.
That's interesting.
I see Franklin going to Virginia Tech. I think that's a good fit for him. I think he can recruit that area. And I just think that place kind of fits him at this point in his career. I could see them naming him in the next week or two.
I think they have a chance of flipping Womack because of the coaching change at Auburn.
Yeah.
They're already contacting Womack.
Yeah.
They already have. They're already on it. How's the pod mother? She's doing better. Thank you for asking. And last question. Nick Quint, what do you think of OSU not playing Penn State until 2028? Criminal.
I do.
That's what I think about it.
I hate it. It's a guaranteed win every year.
That and it's a great rivalry. I mean, the fact that I'm glad he brought that up because we hadn't really mentioned that, but that was weighing heavy on me. Yesterday when that game was over, it's so much fun to beat them every year and watch their faces as they, see another one slipping away. I'm gonna miss that.
That's the one thing I hate about this new that we brought all these teams in from the Pac-10. As some of these teams that we played every year and had a good rivalry with, we don't get to see every year anymore.
Well, I heard that it was Penn State that chose not to keep us.
It was.
So that bothers me. I mean, I don't blame them, but
Yeah.
that's pretty weak.
If you had their record against Ohio State, would you want to stay on our
Oh,
schedule?
hell no. I don't blame them one bit. I would do the same shit, but I'm still going to call them out.
Yeah.
You know what? We've missed one big name in this coaching carousel. Where is Connor Stallions going to land?
Central Michigan.
Probably be back on Michigan staff.
The fact that Central Michigan got a worse punishment than Michigan in all of this is
It's
the
disgusting.
it is the most disgusting thing of all time.
What would have happened to Ohio State if we would have done what they did?
Here's the thing:
Lifetime ban from playing football ever. Like they would have absolutely. We would have crushed ourselves. Let's be honest.
That's exactly right, Eric. Because I was going to push back on this. Ohio State would have penalized themselves. The NCAA would not have penalized Ohio State any different than they did Michigan in this case. And this is why I still think that the networks had their finger on the punishment. You cannot convince me otherwise. The networks came in and said, listen, you take away the moneymaker, we're altering our deal. That's why Michigan didn't get a punishment. That's why Tony Petitti went to bat. And the same thing would have happened had Ohio State been in that situation.
I don't necessarily disagree with you. Let me give you a tinfoil hat perspective here. If you own YouTube TV, you were not able to watch the SEC this week.
Correct.
YouTube TV's biggest competitor is Hulu TV.
Owned by ESPN.
Hulu
ABC.
is owned by Disney, who owns
Yes.
ABC and ESPN as well.
Correct.
They, realizing they have this opportunity now that the contract is up with YouTube to try and build their own product, monopolize streaming.
Yeah, SEC will be solely on Hulu.
They upped their price so high on YouTube that the only way YouTube could have accepted it was to jump everybody's streaming price up $20 a month. That is criminal, okay? It was not fair market value at all. It was them sticking it to their competitor. And the only thing I can tell you is if YouTube TV continues to try and go through this and they don't get the price marked down enough and you're like, look, I want to watch all the football I can. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I suggest you do. If that means you're going to no longer have YouTube TV, and I get it, I'm thinking the same thing here in a week. I'm giving them a week for Disney to apologize here and do the right thing. But if they don't, go with Fubo. It is a sports streaming platform. It's like $50 a month. Bart was telling me about this last night. You'll get all of your sports that you want. It's less than YouTube TV. It's less than Hulu. And you'll get all of them. So
You also get soccer, cricket, and Japanese baseball.
Yeah.
But you get college football. That's what we care about.
Yeah.
So
you get all the games.
I get it, Bradley. I don't care about ESPN2, but we will if Ohio State plays on there during the playoffs.
Yeah.
We will. We will care. And I'm not about to. And yeah, there you go. Bart says, I love it. I've had it for 2 years. And you get FanDuel. So there you go.
Nice.
Like it.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give YouTube a week. And if the negotiations go on another week and it's not settled, then I'm probably going to drop YouTube, and I'm going to go with Fubo so that we can get all of there you go. Yeah, Bradley said I'll just go somewhere and watch those games. Well, you know where you can go? Over to our Patreon channel. That's right. You can go over to Patreon. You can watch the game with us. It's a great time. You're going to love it. And Bobby says, I'm good with illegal streaming, and apparently we are as well. Okay, guys, we're going to go to end the show right there. Knoxville Nate, it's been great, man, having you with us this evening. I really do appreciate you jumping in and being our guest tonight. RK Mango, shout out to the panel. Thanks. It was a very good show tonight, and you all in the chat made it that way through great questions. Nate, thank you so much. Sean, Tuesday night. Tuesday night. Announcement on Tuesday night or anything?
We are having Butler Benoit on, former Buckeye.
Butler Benoit is going to be on Tuesday night on the Buckeye Lounge. Make sure you check that out. Tomorrow night, call-in show, 8 o'clock Eastern. There will be a special guest with me.
Nice.
You all wanted to. You all wanted it. Maybe we'll just give it to you tomorrow night.
Special guest could be.
Just have to tune in and find out tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night. Until then, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH. Sing Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, you all know what to do. OH!
I owe!
Go Bucks.
Knoxville sucks.